It's been said that theater is as essential to civilization as safe, pure water, and the first European settlers into the Cedar Valley certainly agreed. Among the many essentials they brought with them were works of drama, and after meeting the basic needs of settlement, dramatic clubs and societies were organized to provide much-needed relief from the grinding effort of survival. Some of the early plays performed in the Cedar Valley were William Tell, Oliver Twist, and William Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice. The words of the bard inspired many in this community, including one man who would turn them into an artistic and economic powerhouse. In the spring of 1960, Fred Adams, a young and the only drama professor at the College of Southern Utah here in Cedar City, sat in the Fluffy Bundle laundromat with his fiancée Barbara Gaddy, and on a yellow notepad they designed their dream. The notes on that pad would become the blueprint for the Utah Shakespeare Festival. However, the events that culminated with this Fluffy Bundle planning session had taken root years before. Fred Adams had begun to build a successful drama program that the Cedar City community enthusiastically supported. Coming from a family that actively encouraged his dramatic ambitions, Fred brought some of the biggest Broadway shows to rural southern Utah and its small college. The only looming difficulty became the cost of continually purchasing royalty rights for newer shows. The solution? Produce Shakespeare. The plays of William Shakespeare existed in the public domain. No royalties needed. Fred spent a few weeks in the summer of 1959 living with friends in Ashland, Oregon. There he developed a lifelong friendship with Angus Bomer, the founder of the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. Fred spent all his time taking notes, watching rehearsals, and sketching sets. He began to notice similarities between Ashland and Cedar City. Both towns were of similar size, both had small junior colleges, and both were surrounded by spectacular scenery. If a Shakespeare Festival could work in Ashland, Oregon, why not Cedar City, Utah? The first step, visit the president of the college, Royden C. Braithwaite. President Braithwaite greeted the idea with excitement. However, the college did not have the budget to support a large or even small festival. President Braithwaite offered to pay the utility bills and provide a space for rehearsals and dorm rooms for the actors. Fred had decided that the play should be performed in an outdoor space next to the auditorium and needed lumber for construction of the stage. He also needed fabric for costumes and materials for small set pieces and props. Fred turned to the city for financial assistance. He laid out the vision of the festival and the impending economic impact it could have. The city had no funds available. The Chamber of Commerce also declined to finance the festival. The Elks, Rotarians, and the Kiwanis also passed. Finally, with a generous offer from the Lions Club, preparations for the first season now began in earnest. Fred and Barbara had decided that 3 plays over 2 weekends would be the perfect way to begin. Cost being a primary factor and costumes being critical, The Taming of the Shrew was selected because the drama department had performed the play 2 years before and still had the costumes. The majority of the college cast were returning, and the costumes still fit. Romeo and Juliet had just been performed the winter before, so it was out. But 50% of the costumes could work for Hamlet, so it was in. Fred knew that The Merchant of Venice had been one of the first plays performed in the Cedar Valley by the Mormon pioneers, some 100 years earlier, so it also seemed an appropriate choice. The dates, the plays, and the cast were all set. Now all that remained was a name. Fred and Barbara toured the state, drumming up publicity and support for the new Shakespeare Festival in Cedar City. While visiting Salt Lake City, they met with Utah Governor George Dewey Clyde. Governor Clyde, who was very supportive of their idea, listened intently as Fred and Barbara discussed the various names they were thinking of. Governor Clyde was insistent that whatever name they landed on, Utah should be a part of it. With the governor's blessing, the Utah Shakespeare Festival had its name. Now, the stage is set, the stars are out, and the fanfare was starting.